Hiya, and welcome back to Homecoming Morenatsu Revisited. The game that teaches us that if Kyouji doesn't get a good night of sleep, I am going to steal his left shoe, and only his left shoe. Anyways, let's just hop right in. I'm a bit confused when I open my eyes, as I'm in pitch darkness. It takes me a few seconds to remember I'm in Kyouji's room. Kyouji. It wasn't a dream. I can still taste him on my tongue. Damn. I still can't make out much in the room besides the still dimly glowing plastic stars, but I can see the shape of Kyouji's chest rising and falling in a steady rhythm next to me. He wasn't kidding, he really did sleep through the night. Is he really just the rest of a newly unencumbered mind, or was it because I slept next to him? Having stirred awake, Kyouji stretches his body out, his back giving a dull pop. With an obvious attempt to mask his movements, he slowly edges himself out of the bed and crosses the room to his desk. Good morning. Oh, I guess the breakfast in bed won't be a surprise now. Damn! We're not Hawk-2ing on that thing. I prop my head up in my hands as I give him a mock suspicious look. You aren't trying to butter me up for something, are you? I may have come on a bit too strong last night. I was pretty tired, so I could have been more polite. I flash her my best grin and shake my head. I liked it. Honestly, I was hoping for more this morning. Kyouji inhales like he's about to reply, but instead he stops and cocks an ear towards his door. I think I'll have to wait until I get the morning in order. The girls sound pretty hungry. Almost as if on cue, I hear a tiny giggle and muffled footsteps coming from the hallway. Again, I hope this is okay. I wasn't going for the friends with benefits thing. But for the past few days, I haven't been able to get you out of my head. I admit, I had nothing in mind for this morning, but the hushed and sincere tone he is taking is doing something incredible to my insides. I feel like my face is burning. I don't think you realize just how beautiful someone is until you just let the thought come. Hey, you're getting better at this. I still feel like I'm gonna be sick, but maybe a little. That's definitely an improvement. Kyouji's words bring a small smile to my face and I rub the back of my head. Sorry I didn't stay long enough to see your mom. I just wanted to make sure Grandma wasn't worried about me. I understand, Hero. Besides, she's working this afternoon, so she's likely enjoying a small nap. We fall quiet and just breathe in the morning air. A pleasant mix of coolness and humidity that feels crisp in my lungs. I really owe you for this, Hiroyuki. I was going crazy. If you hadn't come and fixed the situation, I'd probably be still looking for another job. He slips the now empty messenger bag off his shoulders and holds it out in front of him, his fingers tracing the phrase along the sides. Actually, you should thank my grandma. She and Grandpa have known Mr. Aichi for years. I guess I'll have to get Chio to help me bake her a pie or something. Sounds like a plan. Oh my god, what is Grandma's favorite pie? What is Grandma's favorite pie? Apple pie. Oh my god. Bougiest apple pie recipe. Hey Siri, bougiest apple pie recipe.
Okay, I found this on the web for Bougie's apple pie recipe. Check it out.
Oh my god, maybe with banana? Oh my god. Sounds so good. Like a banana cream pie. I feel like there was a joke there. No! She showed me a mock apple pie. Oh my god, oh my god. You know what sound really fucking good? Fucking chicken pot pie. Now I'm hungry. Kyouji swats me playfully with the bag and breaks into a jog. Aichi's pressed now only a few meters from us. Give me a few minutes to drop this off, then we can get some snacks or something. Snacks after jogging? I playfully nudge the canine in the ribs, grinning as he smiles back at me. Oh, we can afford to live a little. Excellent timing, Takahara. Need you to help me move some of this crap. Mr. Aichi greets us the moment we enter the office. Or more accurately, he greets Kyouji. Yes, sir! I watch as the canine briskly walks further inside. As he disappears from view, I suddenly become aware of a pair of eyes staring down at me. Sorry, kid, no hard feelings, but I need to ask you to wait outside. This won't take too long. I blink a few times in confusion before giving the bull a respectful bow. Yes, sir. As I turn and head outside, I can't help but wonder, what will the rest of my day with Kyouji bring? All done, sir! You're a good kid, Takahara. Don't change that. I don't! Shut up and listen. I need to talk to you about something. You'll shut the door. I give a silent nod and do as he tells me, walking over to the door to close it. Is something wrong, sir? No, actually, there's something I'm going to lay on the table, so to speak. If you prove yourself here, I'd like to make sure you have a permanent job after high school. My mouth drops open as his words begin to sink in, but Mr. Aichi continues without letting me utter a sound. I have a half-dozen positions I want to get filled eventually, and I'll be damned if I have to keep throwing things at people every day. I don't know what to say. That may change in a moment. How much do you know about your dad, kid? Whatever good feelings I was beginning to feel instantly evaporate. What are you talking about? I stare at my boss warily as he reaches for his desk before picking up a folder. As he opens it, he flicks through some papers before pulling one out and holding it out to me. Look, Kyouji Takahara, Osamu Takahara. I take the paper from him and stare at it with disgust. Sure enough, I see the portrait of my father staring back at me. Normally, a background check for my company would reveal a relation to Osamu Takahara. You see, we have a history with him. Did he steal from you? I shouldn't be the one to tell you this. No, I need to know what he did. The words have escaped me before I can stop myself. I find myself tightly gripping the paper. With a sigh, the bull gestures to the chair beside me. Sit down. Your dad was mixed up in some shady shit, apparently owed money to some very powerful people. But I don't believe that for a second, it's just something he told the detectives to cover his ass. I had a warehouse being set up in Shinagawa a few years back. It was nothing extravagant, just looking to do some storage business with the foreign agriculture supply. A week or two into construction, we get this white stoat showing up in my office in Kazunari, you know the type. Smooth talker, smelled like he showered in cologne. He wanted to offer me $500 million to give up the title to the land and forget it ever existed. He was with a Doberman who didn't take too kindly when I refused. No deal. I know Yakuza when I see him. You all reek of the same odor. I can't remember. What voice should I give Osamu? I just wanna be part of the symphony, yeah. Maybe hold me tight, and I'll let go. Oh wait, I did give him a voice. Son of a bitch. To be honest, I forgot about it completely until the cops gave me a call. Said they'd caught a guy fleeing the scene of an accident. And a body. Keep telling you, I need a little more time. And I keep telling you that's not good enough. You owe us now. Your dad was instructed to resolve a debt. It was supposed to be quick and easy, but... Hey, what are you... Tono was the last person on site that night. He was a hard worker, and that day was no different. Shit! When the cops questioned your dad, they didn't say whether or not he was a suspect in the death of Shuya Tono, so I'm not sure what made him confess. He'd given Tono a rough shove, causing him to stumble from the scaffolding. A 15-meter fall. He claimed that he panicked and went into autopilot. He used a bulldozer to bring the building down. In court, his lawyers argued that because the building had been demolished, there was no way to tell if Tono's injuries were from a fall or from a building falling on him. It was decided that Osamu Takahara was paid to destroy a piece of my property, and Tono just happened to be inside the building at the time. Supposedly an accidental slaying, enough for life in prison, but not enough for a media frenzy. The words ring over and over in my head. It's like I'm trapped in an endless nightmare, unable to wake up. I let the slip of paper I'm holding fall to the floor before curling my hands into fists. My father is a murderer. Mr. Aichi sighs heavily and glances to the side. I've never seen him this solemn. I'm sorry, kid. I just figured you should hear it from me now rather than from suit and tie asshole later. And I'm pretty damn sure you don't want to hear it from your mother. I can feel my chest tighten as I imagine Mom trying to tell me exactly what happened. Makes perfect sense now as to why she doesn't want to talk about him. No, I wouldn't. Thank you, Mr. Aichi. Are you gonna be alright, Takahara? Do you need something to drink? I shake my head and turn away. Once again, I can feel the mask that I had begun to let slip away reform itself. I'll be fine. But... I should go! I'll be back tomorrow, sir. Don't worry! Don't do anything crazy. This isn't the sort of thing people just tell their kids. I say nothing in response as I open the door and walk out. My mind is racing from this revelation. I can feel my eyes begin to sting, but I force away the tears that are threatening to fall. I know Hiroyuki is waiting outside for me, but the only thing I can think of is that he might not be so understanding to find out the truth about my father. My eyes shoot open and my head snaps up when I hear the telltale sound of an opening door. I was just resting my eyes, I swear. I trail off when I notice it's Kyouji. A cheeky grin comes to my face as I push away from the wall. I was starting to think you actually got the toilet working again. Kyouji? Are you okay? He glances at me upon hearing his name, his blank facial expression not changing. Dude. Take a hesitant step towards him, suddenly feeling something like fright. I know it's not a repeat of what happened the other day, but from the look on his face, it's like he saw something he wasn't supposed to. Hey, come on, Kyouji. Talk to me. I fight back the nerves and reach my hand out, gently grabbing his arm and giving him a quick shake. Upon contact, he drops his gaze from me, his tense jaw seeming to relax. I need to go. Something's come up. I give him a few moments to elaborate, but he offers no other words of explanation. What are you talking about? Did Mr. Aichi take back your position or something? No. He raises his head and looks back into my eyes, his expression still blank. Kyouji? You're scaring me. Please just tell me what's happening. Suddenly the smile I've become so familiar with returns to his face. Everything's fine, Hiroyuki! I'm handling it! I feel something inside me snap, and before I can react, I'm suddenly right in front of the canine, my eyes narrowed. No, do not do this right now. Something is obviously wrong, and I can't talk to a damn smiling wall. I can't help the hiss that creeps into my voice as I helplessly watch the mask descend back into place. Kyouji, still smiling, shakes his head. I appreciate the concern, I really do, but I'll be fine! There's just something I need to take care of! He takes a step away from me, lightly brushing my hand away from his arm before turning away from me completely and walking the opposite direction. Is it me? I don't care if anyone hears this anymore. There's something about the way he just slipped his hands into his pockets. As if I don't matter at all right now. Did I do something? My voice cracks as I choke the words out. My mouth feels dry as I watch him pause and turn, his smile faltering slightly. I didn't mean... If you regret last night, I get it, okay? I won't bring it up, just... Please don't walk away from me. We can pretend it didn't happen. I don't even have time to utter a proper cry before Kyouji crosses the distance between us and seizes me by my midsection. He pulls me tight against him, his mouth angled right into my left ear. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. Underneath the confusion and the anger, I feel the same electricity I felt last night. Please tell me what's going on. I will, tomorrow night. I swallow, bringing my arms around the back of his neck. He returns the gesture by tightening his own grip around my hips and inhaling my scent slowly. The sensation is soothing at the very least, and before he lets me go, I feel the gentlest of kisses against my ear. Please just be safe, whatever you're doing. I watch as the man I love gives me one last smile before walking away. It's a smile that I know is genuine. It has been almost 2 hours since the sun has set. I've been trying to watch TV for the last couple of hours, but all I've managed to do is keep staring out the window. I hadn't realized I've been biting my claws so much until one starts bleeding. I need to call him. And maybe I could invite him over. Or maybe I could invite myself. And do what? It's not like I can just show up and show my non-existent breasts to dash whatever plan he has. No, but Hiroyuki... Oh my god, my mouse is being a little shit. Stop being Chukachi, mouse. And my fucking microphone is being a bitch. So I'm just gonna... There we go. That's better. Movie logic. Hiroyuki. You don't have breasts. However, you do have something that Kyouji likes. Your ass! Just present yourself to Kyouji, face down, ass up. There you go. That'll dash whatever plans he has. Probably. Yeah, but Hiroyuki has ass. I'm convinced that it is a fat ass. That it is a large ass. And my microphone is still being a bitch. So I'm going to fix that real quick. Okay, that fixed it. And do what? I'm not a girl. It's not like I can just show up and show my non-existent breasts to dash whatever plans he has. That isn't fair. If Kyouji didn't care, he wouldn't have let last night happen the way it did. Maybe I'm just being paranoid, but something about what he said today has me worried a bit for my... Ah! Is it right to call him my boyfriend? To hell with it. Or I can stop myself. I've already marched to the phone in the hallway. Picking up the receiver, I begin dialing the number. I hope it's the right number. Hello? I'm sorry, I think I called the wrong number. No, you didn't, silly. You needed someone to talk to. Familiar voice caused me to give a small smile. I guess you're right, Nana. It's been a big day, so it took me a moment. Don't worry about it, hero. You're just tired. I am tired. I was meaning to call Kyouji. My friend Chuck was on the other end of the line. I can imagine him giving his usual grin and swishing his tail. He always was a kid at heart. I know, but you really should just go to bed. But I stop, biting my lip, feeling the emotion twist and turn in my stomach until it wells up into my eyes. Will he be okay? I whisper those words into the receiver, barely aware of the tears that have begun to fall. Sometimes when we try to move past something, we can get stuck. We stumble on something we just can't forget, and then we can't grow. There's someone he needs to talk to before he moves on. You understand that, don't you, Hiroyuki? I take in my friend's words, giving a small nod, even though he couldn't have possibly seen it. Yeah, I think so. Don't worry, I'll tell him to come and see you. Breathing a little easier, I wipe the tears away and smile. Yeah, thanks, Nana. Good night, hero. Good night. As I place the phone on the receiver, I hear the sound of someone clearing their throat. Turning, I face my grandmother with a smile. Who are you calling at this hour, dear? Do I need to be on the lookout for someone crawling through a window? No, I just called the wrong number. I'll try again in the morning. I am pretty tired. I think I should just get some rest. As I return to my room and get into my futon, I feel myself drift into sleep with a sense that things will turn out just fine. And that is how you die. How does it feel, Hiroyuki? You're dead now. August 27th. Prepare yourself. I called Kuyo last night to ask me a favor. He seemed a little surprised to hear from me. He was even more surprised when I told him that I wanted him to drive me to Nagoya. Nagoya? I don't know how to pronounce that. You can give me money for gas, sure, but why? What's so important about Nagoya? I'm going to visit my father! Kuya pulls over to the side of the road, staring in awe at the barbed wire fence across from us. What are we doing here? I thought you were going to see your dad. I force a smile to my face, ignoring the pain I feel at the attempt. For as long as I care to remember, I've practiced smiling whenever I feel troubled or angry. Puts people at ease when they're not panicking, situations are more easily resolved. This is my father's home! I gesture at the prison complex with my hands open, as if showing off a mansion. I don't need to even look at Kuya to know that he's staring at me in shock, but that's fine. I'd be worried if this came off as normal to him. I attempt another smile. Damn. Just when I thought you couldn't surprise me any further, your daddy issues must be enormous. I glance at him sideways, trying not to laugh at the irony of his statement. He puts up his hands in front of him defensively. Don't worry, this is for you, dude. I appreciate it, Kuya. Thank you for the ride. I'll make it up to you. Okay, I just want to explain how I think he's doing the mask. Because clearly there is some massive misunderstanding. I think the mask is only down around one person. Actually, no, two people. Mr. Aichi and Hiroyuki. That's why I'll do a different voice with those two. However, for this scene, I'm going to do the no mask voice. Not even his sister or mother. Listen. This is gonna sound fucked up, but, I actually fully understand what it's like to hide shit from very close family. And obviously, he's very close with his sister or mother. So I know what it's like to put on a mask. They've seen my most authentic self. However, for years before that, I have hid it. So, like, that's why I'm thinking he's putting up a mask as to not worry them even more. Granted, I'm pretty sure I'm also a terrible person, so, like, I don't know. At least I think I'm a terrible person. I don't know. I appreciate it, Kuya. Thank you for the ride. I'll make it up to you. Despite the seriousness of the situation, my friend grins and winks at me. You already made it up to me by paying for my gas. You can go home now. I'll take the bus home. It's not a big deal, Kyouji. I'm not working today, so I have no plans. I shake my head before staring at the fence once more. I appreciate it. But you don't want to be around for this. I clench my hands into fists. While I don't have a plan for today, I have this overwhelming urge to just erase. Erase what it means to be a Takahara, I suppose. Whatever it means to me, anyway. But I'm Kyouji first and foremost, and now he is about to commit that to memory. You're scary as hell, but it's a nice change for once. I'd better let you get to it then. Good luck, Kyouji. I watch as the husky starts up his motorcycle and drives away, leaving me alone. As I turn back to the fence, I breathe a heavy sigh before making my way along the path leading to the entrance of the complex. Wagging my tail had been taking a lot less effort lately, and I know the reason why. It's because of that beautiful fox, but it just works out so well. After all this is over, it'll be nice to spend some more time together. That sounds like a dream, but if Hiroyuki knew what I know now, I don't think that dream will come true. I slowly approached the prison guard, the German shepherd looking at me with a raised eyebrow. Stopping in front of him, I bowed deeply, keeping in position as I speak my request. I would like to see Osamu Takahara, please. As I finish my request, I stand back up and wait. He gives me a slight shake of his head. It's not that simple, kid. There's a process to follow. Please. It is important that I speak with my father. The guard gives a disinterested sigh and shrugs his shoulders. Fine. It's irregular, but I'll fetch him. Please wait here. I bow as he opens a door nearby and passes through it. As it closes behind him, I breathe an anxious sigh. I'm not sure what to expect, but it's been over 3 years. What am I going to say to him? What can I say? I jolt as I suddenly hear a door being opened nearby. The guard I spoke with emerges and gestures over to one of the visitor stations. You'll be brought into that room. Yes. Thank you. Bowing once again, I walk over to the station he pointed at and sit down on the seat, preparing for the inevitable. On the other side of the window, I see the door opening up. Another prison guard stepping through the door before holding it open. Suddenly, I see a familiar face step through the doorway. He stares at me with cold eyes before approaching the seat in front of him. The guard on his side closes the door behind him before turning to face us, standing in a militaristic pose. My father and I keep our eyes locked on each other as we reach for our respective intercom handsets and raise them to our heads. What do you want? I fight back a scowl at the nonchalant delivery of his question and instead focus on responding as confidently as I can. To talk. I speak cautiously, attempting to keep my breathing under control. On the other side of the glass, he rolls his eyes in response. He stares at me for a moment before leaning back in his chair. With a sneer, he shakes his head. You got some girl pregnant, didn't you? I'm not sure how to respond to the question. He sounds so sure of himself, almost as if he's heard it from me regularly. He narrows his eyes and leans forward. I'll give you this advice, free of charge. Get a paternity test. I've had to do it 4 times in high school myself. There's always some bitch trying to chin you down. Was Mom one of them? The words escape my lips too quickly for me to stop them, but I can't help myself. I feel a deep anger building up within me. Opposite me, the Doberman's eyes flash with an anger of their own. You smartass. I can never tell. Your mother is the same way. You all took after her, so I can't ever tell if you're pissed or just asleep. By the way, I haven't received any letters from you lately. It's just not the same without them. The expression on his face suddenly changes to a devious smirk. He shrugs and waves his free hand dismissively. You never responded. I figured they wouldn't let you. His smirk fades to a look of surprise for the briefest of moments before he suddenly begins laughing. The smile he gives is unpleasant, his fangs bared as if trying to intimidate me. Of course they let us respond, but why should I? What else would I say other than just another day in hell? He reaches a hand up and scratches behind his right ear, no doubt stalling to get a reaction out of me. I let my lips curl into the beginnings of a smile. I quit the team. I decide it's best to just come out and say it. You what? I barely finished the sentence before his voice comes through my handset, the anger within it barely contained. I'm playing a dangerous game here, but the adrenaline is starting to flow through me, and I repeat what I said, ignoring that warning voice from deep down. If I were younger, I'd be cowering in a corner to shield myself from the blows that would have been coming. To cover my ears as my mom breaks into shrill screams. Are you screwing me with right now? Is this your idea of a joke? To piss me off because I'm in here? You're playing a dangerous game if you are. I shake my head, feeling a sudden boost of confidence. My small smile widens. No. I wanted you to know that I'm done with soccer for good. I can see his face contort in rage. His entire body tensing up, glaring at the handset. He lets out a low snarl. Listen here, you little shit. I need you to play in college. To be the father of a pro player in this shithole. It would be very favorable. You can get me reduced sentence, and I'll be damned if you screw that up with whatever shit you thought you were doing. I know you killed Shuya Tono. Years ago, something like this would have ended with me under my bed, sporting a black eye or a twisted arm. There would be a monster stalking into my room, one who knew how to lift my mattress from its springs, grab me by the ankle, and yank me just hard enough to pull out fur. And he'd aim for my stomach with the signature Takahara scoring shot. I suppose your mother has been talking, huh? His voice becomes as quiet as mine, and while it would have terrified me in the past, I'm strangely unaffected. No, but people have been talking. You killed a man who was just trying to do his job. I put food on the table, you ungrateful little shit! My father's anger erupts, letting me see a familiar sight. I can't stop my lips curling back into a snarl in response. Did you think about his wife when you killed him? Did you think about how his son would eat? At the mention of Taro, I feel the rage explode inside me. Lurching for it, I position my face so that it's mere centimeters away from the glass separating us. Of course you didn't. You don't think about anything but yourself. You're a coward. You'd rather kill someone than be a man and do an honest day of work. I'm unable to fight back a sinister chuckle, leaning back and shaking my head. Perhaps it's for the best that you're rotting in there. Because if I could get my hands on you, I'd kill you myself. But instead, I'll settle on the next best thing. I stand on my feet and look at the Doberman. His face is bright red and full of pure rage, but I just scoff at him. You're dead to me. You're dead to us. Goodbye, Osamu Takahara. As I place the handset back on the receiver, I watch unflinching as he lunges at the glass, only to be pulled back by the guard and restrained. Let a cold smile on my face as our eyes meet for one last time before he's led back to his cell. Turning to the guard on my side, I give a thankful nod. The German Shepherd nods back and I can see the beginnings of a grin on his face as he gestures for me to follow him out of the prison. He's a bitch! As I make the trip to the bus stop, I let out the restrained anger. I feel a sudden sharp pain in my lower lip and realize that I must have bitten it. Ignoring the metallic taste in my mouth, I hail the next bus before climbing aboard and taking a seat. It'll take a while before I get back to Minasato, but at least it will give me the time I need to deal with this. It's late afternoon by the time I make it back to Minasato. I finally managed to find a water fountain. It'll be nice to wash the taste of this blood out of my mouth. Can't help but feel sorry for those old ladies I scared on the last bus. Must have looked like a vampire. There. After taking a drink and rinsing my mouth of the dried blood, I let myself stumble backwards onto a nearby bench. So much I still need to do, but I'm not sure how to even start the conversation with Taro. If God really does exist, he has an interesting sense of humor. What are the odds of all this happening? Sayu drags a good kid onto my field, one I forge a wonderful friendship with, and yet... My dad killed your dad, Taro. I can't change it. I can't fix it, but I want to try. I want to be a new person, not just for you, but for him, too. I wonder what he'll say when I tell him about today. How will he react? Huh? Scoop here and pat this down. Would you like to build a sandcastle with me, Kyouji? Without looking at me, my old friend continues building his miniature kingdom. With a sigh, I stand up and approach him, careful to not disturb his work. Picking a spot beside him, I gently sit down. Good. Here. He grins and turns his attention to me, handing me a small plastic scoop that makes me almost chuckle when I take it from him. It's so small in my hand, I wish Chiyo were here to see me. You seem like you were busy today. I guess you could say that. What I must look like. My eyes are slightly swollen from crying while my lower lip has a definite sign of distress. My old friend doesn't say a word, instead focusing on carving into his masterpiece, his tongue poking out for a moment. Do you think I did the right thing? The wolf looks back at me and smiles, sitting back a little. You look taller getting off the bus. Something tells me whatever you did today allowed you to finally grow beyond what you thought possible. Is that so? Yeah, it's okay to feel like this. You're always growing after all. I nod, absorbing the simple statement into my heart, before glancing back at the sandcastle. Huh. This sandcastle is nice. Yukiharu did a great job for it to still be standing for this long. A small scoop lies discarded next to the work of art. I guess he and Chiyo forgot about it the other day. I had to pick it up, but decide to leave it. You never know who might come along and think to play with it. I close my eyes and take a few deep breaths before finally deciding to stand up. Brushing the sand from myself, I open my eyes and begin walking around the village. This should be the right one. Standing in front of a familiar house, hoping that I have the right window. Glancing down, I pick up a small pebble and gently toss it at the window. I wince at the high-pitched clink as it bounces off the glass. However, there are no lights flickering on immediately. I scoot back down to find another pebble of suitable size. Maybe this isn't appropriate. This is his grandparents' home after all, but I need him. I hold my breath as the pebble bounces away from the window. Seconds seem to last for minutes. Suddenly he's right there, his eyes wide as he stares out at me from his bedroom. The moonlight is catching his fur just right. his bed head looking perfect in a way I doubt even the universe intended. See his mouth agape, his eyes wide before he whirls around and sprints out of view. Probably should have cleaned up a little bit better. Kyouji? What? He looks me over, the millions of questions that are no doubt flooding his mind, going thankfully unspoken. Kyouji, you're bleeding. I'll go get something. I'm unable to help myself as I feel my legs carry me forward and into his arms. All at once, everything is right with the world. His fur that I wanted to just touch is finally under my fingers. The white strands catch the light like the dress of a fairy tale princess. His eyes are still wide, but he's not resisting my touch. I trace my hands upwards into his, lacing our fingers as I press his body into the wall. Sorry, Hiroyuki. I should have told you what I was doing. Are you okay? His voice is small and almost breathless. I can't help but picture a tiny radio in the dark playing soft music. I will be. Lean in slowly, giving him a second or two to turn away should he choose. The slight arching of his back invites my lips the rest of the way, and I touch his as softly as I can. His breath is soft and warm as he exhales around our lips, his hands adjusting to a tighter grip around mine. As we pause for a breath, he looks into my eyes. Where did you go? He asks his question with a soft voice. I respond by dropping my hands down past his rump, lifting his legs up and onto my hips. Hey! Despite his protest, he realizes what I'm trying to do and wraps his arms around my neck, allowing me to support his weight with my hands just under his tail. I give him a smirk and turn to begin the trek to his room, stopping only to kick my shoes off at the entrance, offering the least bit of courtesy towards his grandparents' home. Pretty much. Kyoji's words send a comforting warmth through me as he lowers himself and gently rests atop me. As he continues to nuzzle me, I reach a hand up and gently thread my fingers through his hair. I love you too, Kyouji. I feel my strength begin to abandon me as my eyes begin to close. Through the haze, I can feel the gentle kisses my new lover is pressing against my neck. He whispers something, and while the sound is soothing, I can't decipher his words. I take in our intermingled sense and the feeling of his body on mine before I succumb to sleep. We're not done yet! Oh, bye, Frostclaw. I can't help but hold on to Kyoji's hands as he finishes his story. The things he told me about his father, I was shocked, but I could never hold it against him. I still struggle to imagine it. Your dad and Taro's. Words aren't really forming well for me at the moment. What can you possibly say to something like that? Kyoji's father killed someone, and when Kyouji found out, he confronted him before cutting him out of his life. I don't think there's anyone alive that has the appropriate words for such a situation. And it's Kyouji who has had to live through so much already. It doesn't matter after today. I'm making sure my family can move on. What will you tell your mom? Unable to stop the immediate question that forms in my mind from escaping my lips. However, rather than the expected response, Kyouji simply smiles. Only what she needs to hear. The way he smiles, his loose posture, his hands resting in his pockets instead of behind his back. The way one corner of his mouth is just a tiny bit higher than the other. It's real. And it's comforting. As we stop in front of the familiar house, I turn to look at the canine. Are you sure you need to do this alone? Reaching out for Kyoji's hand, he offers it with no hesitation, despite us being both in public. Did you notice that your nose twitches constantly when you're worried? Come on! I'm being serious here. The soft chuckle I hear is music to my ears, and my heart skips a beat as he takes my other hand with his free hand. Can you meet me at the bus stop tomorrow morning at 10? His words almost whispered. I swallow before giving him a smile of my own. Yes. My smile falters as I turn to look at my old house, and I heave out a heavy sigh. I know full well that I have no place in what Kyoji's about to do, but I'm worried. Closing my eyes briefly, I reopen them moments later and return my attention to the canine. Good luck, Kyouji. He gives my hand a gentle squeeze before leaning down to press a soft kiss to the top of my head. Oh, welcome back. After a few moments of silence, Kyouji releases my hand. With an unsure smile on his face, he turns and makes his way up the path to my old house. He uses time to make a discreet exit. I only hope it goes well. I pause briefly as I stare at the house in front of me. I feel a strange sensation in my stomach, as if I'm on the verge of vomiting. That's anxiety. No, I can do this. I need to do this. I force myself to press the doorbell button, despite having no plan for whomever is on the other side of the door. My mouth goes dry as I hear the lock being turned, but I am resolved to say what I need to say. When Taro comes outside, I'll let it all out. If he punches me, I'll stand my ground and take it. Taro, I need to tell you... Oh, Kyouji, I'm sorry. You just missed him. I curse inwardly as the last person I wanted to see stands in front of me. The tired older lady I tried so hard to assist by taking her son under my wing. What the hell am I doing here? I was ready to face Taro, but his mother is a completely different story. Taro. Oh dear, you don't look so good. I got out of the park to find Sotaro. He's been practicing there a lot lately. No, I mean, this isn't easy. Maybe I should just tell you and then tell him later. Rumiko stares at me, pure concern etched on her face. Is this about the soccer team? Sotaro told me you made him the team captain, but I don't think he wants it. It's about Mr. Tono. Rumiko's expression changes to one of complete shock. Taking a step back, she looks at me warily. Did Sotaro say something to you about him? Yeah. He told me everything a long time ago, but... I pause, feeling more nauseous than ever, but will myself to continue after taking a few breaths. I found out something terrible 2 days ago. The suspect involved with your husband's accident. Kyouji, I don't want to talk about this. His name is Osamu Takahara, my father. There's an uncomfortable silence as the words seem to register for the lioness. Her eyes widen and she shakes her head in disbelief. What are you saying? I don't understand. Why are you telling me this? The shrill edge of her voice weakens my knees and I drop down to bow at her doorstep. I can't bear to watch the tears I know will be coming from the woman. Osamu Takahara is dead to me, Mrs. Tono. He took so much from you. More than he ever took from me. I'm fighting to keep my voice calm and steady, but I'm picturing my father, face twisted in anger as I revealed my knowledge of what he'd done, and the lack of remorse he had shown. Although I can feel my eyes beginning to sting and my voice is on the verge of breaking, I continue. I promise you, I will scrub clean my family name. I'm going to always be there for you and for Taro. But if you don't want me around, I understand. I just needed you to know. After what feels like an eternity, I hear footsteps approach and I brace myself for the pain I expect to feel. Suddenly, she lifts me to my feet and pulls me into her arms. I can barely make out her soothing whispers into my ears as she tries her hardest to remain composed. It's enough to make the tears that had threatened to form begin to stream down my face. All that I was trying to keep bottled up inside comes pouring out, breaking into sobs as I shakily lift my own arms to return her embrace. You're evil! August 29th. We're leaving off here tonight. I'm gonna cry. I swear to God, I am going to cry and mail you the tears. Express delivery. I hope you enjoy them in your tea. Stay safe. Have a good night. And I will see you all tomorrow.